Excellent. Excellent. It'll pop up whenever it's ready. And they changed the way Twitch dashboard works now. And as a channel manager who doesn't have direct access to the channel, I have no idea how to get back to the channel's dashboard. So I have to watch this from the actual channel page like a pleb, which means I'm watching a Coca-Cola advertisement on my own show. Yeah.
That nobody ever asked for, that nobody complained about.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back to Twitch to go back. Yeah. Yep.
Bad. Yeah. It's weird. It's almost like they went and consulted someone at YouTube. YouTube, how can we further piss off our community by implementing changes no one asked for to a HUD, a GUI that was already good? Yeah, yeah. And they recommended these changes, said, oh, here's a bunch of things nobody asked for. And also demonetize 75% of your platform. They'll love that. Absolutely love it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 222 of the We're Salty About Content Creation podcast. Because, good Lord, are we a little bit salty about content creation sometimes? Unnecessary changes to platforms. Planet Destiny podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Last show of the decade. Wow. Does that it hit you kind of sideways? Doesn't
The
it?
pressure is on now. I better start drinking.
Yeah.
Is there ever a bad episode? I'm sorry. Did you just assume my quality?
Could you?
I can get the dog and put a laser pointer on her head.
Oh, that might end poorly. Do you like your room not being destroyed by your beautiful fish?
It can't get any worse than it is after the holidays with everything everywhere. I'll tell you what, between the wrapping paper and the scissors and the tape and the IKEA furniture, guys, if I'm sitting funny, it's because I spent the past 4 hours building IKEA furniture. It can't get any worse than it already is. So Layla, rip it up. Rip it to shreds.
Away with you. So like
Taco Bell leftovers, like what do we? Never mind. We got yelled at last time we had conversations like this on.
No, it's happening now. So I noticed you're leaning kind of sideways. Is it because you're creaking a little bit to let a little bit? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was one of those times. Yeah. Good for you.
I intermittently throughout this podcast, we're just gonna hear a little.
Yeah.
That's the Easter egg. That's the final Easter egg that perfectly encapsulates this show over the decade.
Can't hear Dan. Chat can't hear you.
Oh, so he came prepared. He came prepared to prevent.
I
don't know what you're talking about. There's no proof on the VOD.
Too much cheese.
It never happened, right?
There's no proof on the VOD. I don't know what you're talking about, Aura. I have no idea.
You can't prove it.
Our Spotify listeners heard it.
Yeah,
maybe
there's got to be somebody.
Maybe we'll see. Hopefully,
someone who listens to the audio podcast. See, it was that guy on Twitter. Thank you, guy on Twitter, who asked about the show being uploaded to podcast platforms. You'll be the one to hear it. You'll be the one. It's like,
man, yeah.
4 minutes and 50
Thank
seconds.
you guys. Thank you guys for sticking through with this.
You want to explain what happened with that? Because apparently,
dude, I don't even know. I don't even know. It's been like, so I guess. Apple hasn't been receiving our podcast since October 22nd, and we've we've been seeing the comments on YouTube and everything, and I was like, I'm sure it will be fine. Like because we've moved over to like new management, right? Or like Moon is still the manager, but we have like a different parent company. And so I've been editing and uploading it and hadn't heard anything until like seeing the YouTube comments. And then this week has been seeing more Twitter comments about it. So we are actively trying to figure out why it's not uploading to Apple. Meanwhile, it is somehow uploading to Spotify accurately. I don't know if it's like a matter of like an RSS feed getting wonky. My car earlier this year, I had a problem where fuel was not making it through the line.
Ooh.
I had fuel in the car. It just wasn't making it through the line. I have a feeling it's like that, but for podcasts. We have gas in the tank. We keep putting stuff in it, but it's just not making it to the engine for some reason.
So it's the fuel filter.
Yeah.
The podcast fuel filter.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. What's new with Apple? To those of you who are listening to us through any other service, thank you. And to everybody on Twitter who asks, "Where's the podcast? Are you guys on hiatus again?" I'm going to keep posting the YouTube link and the VOD to Twitch because holy cow, that is I don't know what's going on there, man.
Yeah. The fuel filters just directing it somewhere else, and thankfully our audience was able to let us know that
Yes,
because we never got an alert. We had no idea that was happening, and
I know there's some
going on for a while.
Yeah, I know there's some stuff going on in like Apple is changing over from like Apple Podcasts from iTunes Podcasts to Apple Podcasts, and I don't know if there's like some sort of switch there, but it's super weird, man.
Yeah, that's definitely a really weird issue, but we're still here. If you're back after missing episodes from October, we're still here. There's still episodes. Go check out the YouTube, youtube.com/Planet Destiny, where everything is always going to be uploaded ultimately. There we go.
Whew. There we go.
Let's talk some Destiny. Like I said, welcome to the We're Salty About Content Creation podcast.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, new show. It's from now on. It's just going to be an hour of us complaining about what we did over the course of the week, which means it's actually not going to be any different from the show previously. Speaking of, Iron Banner is happening this week once again. And this is, to think about, the last Iron Banner of the decade. You would think that there'd be something special about it, like maybe a new set of armor to grind for, maybe a fresh new matchmaking algorithm to make the experience a little bit better. You know, it's the holidays, it's Christmas. You'd think Lord Saladin would bring you the wonderful present of a fun game mode instead of a bag of Dan's shameful toots. But all we get is the toots because Iron Banner still sucks, man.
So how many have you guys all played Iron Banner this week?
Yes.
One game.
Okay. One game? How was that one game?
One game. The same enough to make me say, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
When I'm playing through a match that my arm wasn't really twisted into playing, I figured, it's here. I'll jump in. I'll see if I can have some fun. And midway through the match, I questioned myself, why am I doing this? That's not a good sign. It's not a good sign at all. So after that game, I finished up my weekly stuff and haven't been back on since. And that was like Tuesday. So how about you guys?
I'll tell you why we do it. Because as a Crucible player trying to acquire Pinnacle gear, there's nowhere to get it.
Right.
So we'll go and we'll pick up our bounties and we'll complete our bounties and we'll turn them in, unbeknownst to us, that if you didn't finish the quest, you cannot earn armor. even if you've already earned the Iron Truage set, which I think is the set that's available, if
Right.
you've already earned it in any season prior, you don't get that armor this season until you complete the quest line. So I turned in all my bounties on my Titan, and I was like, it's really weird. I only got weapons. What's going on? And someone in chat was like, did you do the quest? And I was like, I already have the armor set. What do you mean? He's like, no, you can't get armor if you didn't finish the quest. And I was like, well then, let me take a look at the quest.
Yeah.
So I take a look at the quest, and it's the epitome of play your way. Except if you want rewards, you have to play my way. And my way is being a little bitch. So put on that scout rifle and go to the back of the map next to 3 other little bitches and make sure you lane. Instead of the 3 bears, it's the 3 bitches. And they're all laning with a scout rifle.
Yep.
Stealing each other's kills so that nobody actually progresses the quest line.
Nobody makes
to even
any
get
progress.
to shotguns, in which you would think that shotguns wouldn't need any help getting done because they are fucking shotguns. No. Let me reach into Santa's little bag and pull out the nerfed Lord of Wolves because I need help getting shotgun kills. Here's the Lord of Wolves making its appearance, doing 250 damage per bolt on your pinky toe, taking you out of your super. God. Then you can use a hand cannon. And then, oh, you thought scout rifles sucked? You bitches better sit on heavy because you got to get rocket kills. So now everybody's using a Wardcliff coil that followed my mother home from work. She don't even play video games.
Wardcliff.
Don't forget to talk to Saladin after your quest is over because it doesn't actually end once you finish that step.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh.
So don't turn in your bounties like I did thinking I was finished. No, you have to go talk to Saladin before armor is allowed to be a pinnacle drop.
Yep.
In some regards, that would be a useful tool if there were weapons worth grinding for, right?
If there's anything worth grinding for that it wasn't pinnacle related. It's mostly infusion fuel.
Yeah.
That's all Iron Banner has really become.
I didn't even mention skill-based matchmaking or hit registration, lag, ping, what have you. I didn't mention that. It didn't matter.
Yeah, because there's no reason to even put yourself through that. The quest is ridiculous. The rewards aren't really worth your time. I was going to say, gone are the days where we used to farm out Fellwinter's Lie, Radagast Fury. Gone are the days when we used to try to get a decently rolled, Silimer's Wrath. Now it's instant infusion fuel. I can't think of really a single Iron Banner weapon.
If it's not claws, I mean, claws of the wolf is not the only thing that comes to mind. High stat rolled armor, maybe.
Yeah.
Which we've already gotten for the last year and a half.
Right.
Claws of the Wolf has been available. And like at the end of all of this, this quest to get the armor, at the end of it, it's a set of armor that we earned a year or so ago. So there's not even a glamour portion to this. We've had all of this stuff before. So there's really just there's no reason. There's no reason to put yourself through that quest outside of wanting to hit your max pinnacle light. That's it. And even then, it's such an annoying quest to go through. Like I said, I went through one game and I was looking at the quest steps. I was like, what are the rest of these quest steps? When I got to the part that said rocket launcher kills, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna put myself through this. The headache of the Crucible right now with the big problem I've been running into is the teleporting people. the Nightcrawler. Yeah, the Nightcrawler effect.
Bam!
Every game of Crucible has basically become the beginning of X2, X-Men United.
Oh my god.
He's warping through the White House, beating everybody. That's Crucible right now for me. And I'm not gonna put myself through it. Monster Hunter World Iceborne is out. I can go play that. I can go back and play some Borderlands 3. I'm not gonna put myself through this nonsense. I've just been doing story stuff because Saint 14 is amazing and then ignoring the rest of the game.
And it's not salt, to be clear. This is frustration and lack of imagination and something being there for the sake of it being there. That's it. Hey, we have to have a carrot for these meat eaters to chase.
Yep.
You know, and it's just it's lackadaisical. Might be a good word for it. It feels lazy. We don't get to play our way. We don't get to play our way in PvE metas with this artifacts and pulse rifles and scout rifles and bows or whatever, overload rounds, having to change our loadouts in order to complete endgame PvE activities such as Nightmare Hunts and 980 Nightfalls. We don't get to play our way in regards to that. We're all out here running Divinity, Izanagi's Burden.
Yeah.
There's a couple people out there farming obelisks for a firing line and like a Rampage linear fusion rifle for damage with a boss spec on it. But like the fact of the matter is we don't get to play our way. Yeah. We don't get to build our characters to play. We are dictated how we play this game in every aspect outside of I'm going to go to a patrol and use 2 sidearms because I can. And that's the thing that frustrates me because and I think Gathalion tweeted something like this: primary weapon kills, special weapon kills, power weapon kills, captures, total kills, super kills. These are things that you can do however you want to do them in order to progress the same exact ending. You can even raise the bar on kills because I got to be honest with you, what's the point of having a bounty for 25 or 15? Like,
yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely a frustrating issue right now, and it always bothers me a bit when they have these quests, especially in the Crucible, that require certain weapon usage, because again, like you say, Aura, it's not allowing you to play your way, and sometimes it's forcing you to put yourself at a distinct disadvantage against other people. Using a scout rifle in anything other than momentum is putting yourself at a distinct disadvantage in the Crucible. It is.
And it's time to kill is so bad that unless you're actually there with somebody else teaming, you can be outgunned by just about anything at any range for that matter. Scout rifles don't really outperform that many other guns and changes to nerfs because of things like flinch and damage perks that are procced on weapons. Like, you know, if I'm playing long range maps, I still feel like I'm going for a pulse over a scout right now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think a much better way to handle this sort of stuff with a game mode like Iron Banner would be to stick with the more generic objectives. Capture this many, points in control, build up this many points over the course of, a couple of games, get this many kills, get this many double kills, get this many super kills, rather than saying, all right, here's a sidearm, go get 150 kills in PvP.
Yeah.
Do it. It's like,
wasn't there
it's frustrating.
Wasn't there supposed to be like a ritual bow attached to this Iron Banner? Or
they announced that they basically aren't done with it yet, so it's going to be pushed to the next Iron Banner. But
okay,
that'll be fun using a bow in PvP. I hope you've got your lemon arcs ready to poison people.
It depends on what you use. But yeah,
I got the Komodo today. I did the linear fusion rifle, the arbalist, and the whatever the power one was. I mean, it sucks to be forced into doing things. I didn't have that. I mean, again, 125 kills with a linear fusion rifle, the hitbox the size of a computer monitor isn't, all that bad. But
especially with the glitch going on right now, that allows you to get heavy ammo if you stack fusion rifle scavenger and linear fusion scavenger.
Oh, I forgot.
I mean, linear fusion rifle heavy still doesn't one-shot body shot. Like we don't know why it's a power up in Crucible, but
I was actually going to bring up the fact they haven't spoken about that glitch yet. And if you don't know, like I said, if you run a linear fusion rifle scavenger perk and a fusion rifle scavenger perk in tandem, it allows you to get linear fusion ammo from every special brick that you pick up. But in PvP, it's like one shot. I actually don't think that needs to go away. I
Yeah.
actually don't think that's super busted outside of maybe Sleeper, which who's going to use that in PvP because you're going to die before it's even 75% charged. But I was certainly running around with that and being the Grinch, we'll say, for this season, running every ounce of linear fusion targeting and stacking it on Queen Breakers. I was running around doing that, and you only get really one shot. And I honestly, I sit back and I think, how is this any different from having a sniper rifle? Because you can't one shot body shot with anything other than the Sleeper. I wouldn't be mad if they either moved linear fusions to the special slot or just left this as like a just let this be how they function in PvP.
Yeah.
You got to get a kill to get the ammo. And then from there on out, you're good.
Yeah.
It
Something
doesn't bother
to
me
make
that much.
something to make them unique in the playlist outside of
Outside of, the ridiculous aim assist that Queen Breakers can have that can be double buffed now with being able to stack enhanced linear targeting and normal linear targeting.
Oh,
I
boy.
does also. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, it doesn't quite reach. It doesn't quite reach the amount of aim assist that it used to have when it was bugged. I think the aim assist it had on there was like 120 back in those days, but it's still, it's a little cheesy.
There's if you use an empowering rift on a warlock, you can body shot people with Arbalist or even the Crooked Fang or what have you as well. So if anybody out there is having a hard time with it, you can be a complete scumbag. Scumbag. Use an empowering rift and just body people. And there's also a chest piece you can use that gives you wall hacks as a warlock in a rift, so you can be extra scumbag if you want. Also, it works on Revoker, but if you do that to me in comp, I'm gonna bag you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I played a team who used empowering rifts with grenade launchers and Revoker, and we couldn't touch them. Yeah. And I was stacked. We were running a mega stacked team. We couldn't get within inches. Every time we blinked, we got bodied.
Yep.
So we got 4-0'd, we got bodied out of the lobby. It was like the most infuriating thing because we played hackers the game before.
Yeah.
And I would have rather played the hackers than this team because this thing was legit. You can actually play this way. The hackers is cheating. This was a legit way to play the game. It drove me nuts.
And oh my gosh, with Revoker being such a low zoom scope, it's easy. Body shots with it are so easy, and just dropping an empowering rift for that is cheese.
I've never fired a shot of it. Never fired a single shot of Revoker.
I like it. I've been using it in Scourge of the Past to pop the shield nodes. It's real helpful for that.
It's funny because it reminds me a lot of the old final round days, Effort Eats Spear final round, except this is worse. You don't start the game off and then hear off in the distance,
pew pew. Yeah.
You just walk out into the open or jump or blink and immediately get body shot.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna do about that. Because they haven't mentioned they haven't mentioned anything about PvP. Nothing about PvP in this era of the renewed focus on the Crucible.
It's coming. It's coming into season 10.
TM, it's coming. We're listening.
It might be coming with something that is right next to Sir Saint 14 himself.
Beautiful segue, because I was going to ask you, with these current issues going on in the Crucible right now, what would Trials look like?
And Trials would look like handheld Supernova, empowering rift body shots, Lord of Wolves.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's probably going to be what it is. And the reason we bring that up is because, of course, Saint 14 is in the game. You've probably, if you've been playing the game over the past couple of weeks, had a chance to go and meet him inside the Infinite Forest. If you've gone through his entire storyline, you very likely already, spoilers, saved him and brought him back. And once you finish that, he makes his way to the tower where he becomes a vendor with his own special bounties and whatnot. But there's something rather interesting there. In addition to the story quest that he has available for you, as you make your approach to him, he has a very specific rug in front of him. And his entire area is very reminiscent of a very specific area from Destiny 1. And that, of course, has to do with the Trials of Osiris. The trial symbol is there. His area is set up very much like the lighthouse area from Trials. I'm thinking I'm thinking it might be coming back. What about you guys?
I'm just glad they decided to do something with the soccer field out there.
Right? The soccer field that nobody plays on.
Nobody. Yeah. It was cool for like 2 weeks and then nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. I want to see how that progresses, because like you guys have said, like, and what Chad has said here, it, like, if Trials were to come back right now, it'd be kind of a mess. And
a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. And Rox makes a good point, because Trials was always balanced gameplay loop. But
True.
It was my experiences with Trials in Destiny 1 at least felt rewarding, even though like maybe you came up against like a really tough lobby. And right now I'm not so sure where it would fit. I don't know if it should come back right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you looked at the Crucible menu? There's like 8 nodes now of different areas where the player base can be spread out, not counting private matches, but between like the weekly rotating playlist, which by the way, Bungie, can we just have Clash back? Can you please just give me a lobby? I can just go in and kill people. Between Control, Freelance Survival, the Crucible Labs, there's the Elimination has made its full-time return. Iron Banner makes an appearance here and there. There's probably one I'm forgetting about, because I think right now it was like Supremacy is up right now. Like maybe that changes daily or weekly, I'm not sure, but there's Momentum Control that makes its return every now and again. So it's like, you're gonna add Trials of Osiris on Fridays through Sunday or whatever. Just another node for people to click. Is Trials gonna come back? Is it gonna be level enabled?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be connection or skill-based match made? Is it gonna be card match made? So these are the things that, like, how's it going to affect the player base already? Hackers are running rampant on PC.
Yep.
Not so much on console, but hackers are going buck wild. I played a hacker in Control today. Control.
Yeah.
Quick play lobby. I played a guy with Infinite Hammer Super. By the way, he only had 15 kills and like at 3 KD.
Perfect.
Infinite Hammer.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. What rendition are we going to get? Is it going to be 4v4? Is it going to be 3v3? Is it going to be Elim? Is this the writing on the wall from Bungie introducing Elimination as a Crucible Labs and then moving it to a full-time playlist item, and now the next version would be moving it from a full-time playlist item to making it
an
Trials
event
of Osiris.
Yeah, a weekly
if
event.
Anything, I'd imagine it's if it does come back, it's going to come back as a weekend thing, of course, like it was before, and it'll just replace the Elimination playlist. I'd imagine the Elimination playlist, sort of like how the weekly playlist gets replaced, every week. Right now it's Iron Banner. Next week I think it's going to be Mayhem. I think it just appears, and for the weekend replaces Elimination. So rather than having normal comp, you have Trials.
But would it be as good as
D1 Trials?
As even D2 Trials?
I mean, first D2 Trials wasn't very good.
Yeah.
It was not, no.
But like looking at Trials, I think we have to be careful not to look at Trials through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Trials' best time was probably the first time it was around, before people kind of like knew what things to exploit in order to be incredibly annoying. Then Bungie messed with the special weapon economy, so people are running sidearms and icebreaker.
Yeah.
Which was really just I don't like, they just weren't satisfying weapons to really use. So it takes kind of the gunplay fun out of it. So, what version are we going to get? None, is any of it going to live up to the rose-colored glasses that the community looks at it from? I'm not saying like I'm not guilty of it too. I don't think Trials was all that bad. I thought it was fun when I would play with my friends, but like, what are we talking about? What is the bar at which we're measuring it with?
Yeah.
Which Trials? Yeah. You're right when you talk about rose-colored glasses. For Trials, when it was really at its peak, in my opinion, which was the summer right before The Taken King came out. So basically shortly after it was introduced, I think that was probably one of the better times the better PvP environments we ever had. Because after that is, of course, when they started destroying special weapons and lots of changes along that front. And no, I don't think if they brought it back, it would be anywhere close to the peak of what Trials was in in D1.
Mm-hmm.
And as it is in D2 with the current meta and the issues plaguing the Crucible, especially on PC. No, I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be a fantastic experience right off the bat. Doesn't mean I don't want it to come back. I absolutely want
Mm-hmm.
it to come back because that was the in-game activity for PvP people. That was the pinnacle area you went to if you were a PvP player, where you could play and get rewards just like those people running raids. You could go and get stacked max level armor. You could get some of the best weapons in the game, and that is sorely lacking for the Crucible people, the PvP environment right now. So I definitely want it to return. If it does return, I'd imagine, like I said, it'll just replace elimination, and it'll probably be a 3v3 mode. But oh boy, is it gonna be a mess? If it comes back, it is gonna be an absolute mess with the game and the state that it's in right now when it comes to PvP. No doubt about that.
What about the missions for Saint 14?
What about them?
Do you like? So there was the first mission that where you were fighting against the tank and the servitor, which was
The forever
intense.
fight.
I don't know. I don't know.
Good
If it,
lord.
I don't know if it was
Yeah.
match made at all, right? I don't know if you could go in with a fire team or not. I don't recall. I played it solo.
Could.
I did it solo.
You could
Right.
go with
Yeah.
with a pre-made team, I do believe.
Right. So that
Yeah.
was pretty intense. But it wasn't necessarily innovative on Bungie's side in terms of enemies and any kind of mechanic. And then the next mission that I remember came up where you're fighting that giant Vex dude. You're running through like
Yeah.
the Vex maze with all the lines and the I don't know, like you're the spy running through the laser beams, not trip off the motion detection to get
Yeah.
to whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a side of Bungie we've seen so rarely. I'm actually happy that we got to see the fidget spinner versions of the Vex games. I thought they were so
Finally.
great. They were so
Yeah.
short-lived in Curse of Osiris, and they were one of the more unique looking enemies that we had fought. So to see them make a return, I was super psyched about. But then that boss fight with the Minotaur that would like kind of dance around, and then you'd have those harpies that would fly at you, and like I don't know if they trapped you or what they did, but
Yeah.
like I was like, what the hell is happening here? Holy crap.
it's cool, man.
So that was great. I honest to
Yeah.
God, like I want more of that. You know, I thought Bungie knocked it out of the park with that.
Yeah, I would say the Saint 14 stuff has clearly been the
Mhm.
highlight of the Season of Dawn thus far. And I like the sundial activity. I think that's great. I love what they did with the obelisk system. And thank you so much that after you save Saint 14, you can link them all to the tower so you don't have
Yeah.
to go to individual planets anymore. I only ever wanted to do that exactly once, Bungie. And thank goodness they allow for you to pick that up from the tower once you complete Saint 14's quest lines.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think the storyline with Saint 14 has been the highlight of this content release thus far. He's such a fun character to interact with. The quests that you go on to save him at first were pretty cool. Like you, I wasn't a great big fan of the everlasting Spider Walker tank. Good lord, that boss fight went on forever.
Yeah.
But the second mission where you go to Mercury's past and basically save him while he's fighting those endless waves of Vex, that was a really cool fight.
Yeah.
That was a really cool fight. And I think it's been pretty cool thus far. And even after you save him and he goes to the tower, that those 3 different quests he sends you on, where he's basically trying to readjust to the world because he's
Yeah.
been gone for years and he's trying to figure out how to help society, which I think is probably, if Trials comes back, is gonna be what leads into unlocking Trials and whatnot. So go get those quests done. I get a feeling that's gonna be a requirement. But even then, I think the Saint 14 stuff has been pretty freaking. I like
Well,
it.
and they've been account wide too, which is
huge.
something. Yeah, which is a huge thing all the way across the board when it comes to at least like respecting players' time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like that you're able to see him, but in the tower. But I think the best thing to come out of this was the cutscene where he was coming out of the forest. Holy
Dragging
shit!
the goblin.
That might be my favorite cutscene in all of Destiny. I think now.
That was a pretty Titan cutscene.
yeah.
Yes. With the face slamming. Yeah.
Yeah, like just over and over again. it's just like the tiny little things here and there. Like I guess if you're wearing the Saint 14 helmet, he yells at you.
Yeah.
Like
He comments on you. Yeah.
yeah. So
Nice little touches like that.
they've done. It feels like they've done a good job overall, bringing like a legend of the tower in a way that like makes him feel like a legend, whereas maybe like Osiris in the past. Although I feel like they're handling Osiris a little bit better this time around. When he was introduced, it was like
had time to develop it, and we have a weapon system that isn't terrible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle Osiris, is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granddaddy Osiris. Yeah, I jokingly referred to this when we first saw the trailer for this as the Curse of Osiris redemption arc. But it's becoming more true every week because they've done such a good job of like you said, bringing this legend back to life with Saint 14, redeeming the character of Osiris, who was really wasted in the Curse of Osiris storyline. I said I think last time we had a show that if if this was the story of Curse of Osiris, like if this and like the story of Curse of Osiris were like one big thing, that would have been the best, one of the best deals D2 has had, at least story wise. So I'm really happy with what they're doing with the characters there, and I hope if they're going to continue to bring these characters who we've known in the lore since this game came out into the game, I hope they have this. They show this same amount of care. Like shoot, just like you said, just the little notion of if you're a Titan, if you go to Saint 14 of the Tower wearing the helm of Saint 14, he has a special line of dialogue for you as you approach him about going and confusing Zavala. It's beautiful, and we actually got to hear the story of how that audio came into the game over on Twitter. One of the devs got to talk about it, and apparently it was kind of a bit of a rush against time to get that bit of audio thrown in there. But it really shows the love and care that they kind of put into crafting this character this time around. And I see Pins there in chat saying something that I was thinking. That cutscene of him punching his way out of the Infinite Forest and dragging a goblin alongside it. I want that as a finisher. I want to grab a goblin and slam it into whatever I'm killing. I'll spend money on that finisher, Bungie. Like just have me reach off screen and grab a goblin and slap like Omnigul or something. That's beautiful. That was a beautiful cutscene, and I love it. I want to see more of that moving forward.
Although how do you guys feel about Season of Dawn thus far? What are we, 3 weeks in? This is the third week, right? Because it's the third Scion boss.
Yeah, this is the third week.
So Tuesday will be the fourth week of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad, I enjoy the content that it added. The Sundial, I think, is good. It's certainly, I can certainly say that it's better than Season of the Undying. I don't know how high or low that bar is.
Yeah, I mean,
it's certainly better than that.
Is it the like Season of the Forge, Season of the Drifter, Season of the Undying? Is it the best out of those ones? Remember that
Opulence was probably one of the best seasons that we had.
Was good. That's probably the top for me. Opulence.
But Season of Opulence included the raid too, right? Like that's also a bit larger of a content package.
Mm-hmm.
You could say Season of the Forge had Black Armory, or I'm sorry, Scourge of the Past, if you
wanted to do that. Yeah. Dude, Season of the Forge loses points just for the nonsense of unlocking the forges themselves.
I think it loses points every day just based on the fact that like
it exists.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Season of the Drifter too. I think you're hard pressed for a carrot to chase through the course of like all of the armor sets and Gambit Prime being rammed down your throats. This is the first time that this is among the first times where there's story involved in, albeit light, that there's story and dialogue and cutscenes involved versus just talking to Ada. Opulence was very good, but I feel like it's not just a season.
Right.
So what you're saying is Opulence is unfair. It's unfair to compare that.
Am I thinking of it wrong? I might be thinking of it wrong. I mean, it was Season of Opulence, but it felt like it was larger than this content. It felt like it was Undying and Shadowkeep at the same time.
Yeah.
Is what Season of Opulence felt like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Season of Opulence had a lot of good stuff in it. A lot of really, really good stuff in it.
I don't know if I'm still a little burnt out from Season of the Undying or not, but I have not been playing Destiny as much as like in the past few weeks, as I've been jumping back into Borderlands. Control was on sale through the Epic Game Store, So
yeah.
I picked that up. Also, Epic had like, they've been giving away like a game every day for the past few, like, I think this is the 8th day and it's ending on the 1st. So like, I've been picking those up and trying them out and doing different things. And the pull to Destiny this season for me isn't so much the title or anything. It's just like helping other people do stuff. Like I baked my first cookie today and I was like, neat. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I get the double XP thing. Cool. But
no rush.
yeah, for me there's just no serious rush to finish anything within it. So, I don't know. There was an immediacy with Undying. And it could have been that was 2 weeks. Yeah.
I took 2 weeks off to play Red Dead Redemption 2 after Undying because I think the Nightfall grind killed me.
Yeah.
And my desire to play Destiny, you know what I mean? And that grind, by the way, is back with Season of Dawn. You have to do the same exact thing where you get your Nightfall bosses, your solar void arc ability kills, and your total Nightfall score is back again, which was one of the most arduous, awful quest lines I think I've been a part of. That's saying something because we've had a couple bad ones recently.
Yeah.
And I think that led to a lot of my feelings of burnout. And now nobody forced me to get Undying but me.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that medallion and that seal is the most beautiful seal I've seen Bungie create, and I had to own it. So I had to do it because I had to get that seal. The content was terrible.
Yeah.
Like awful. Whatever it was, whatever the Vex offensive was just
mind-numbing.
I feel like it was a
so
step they had
better.
to take. I feel like it was a step they had to take in order to see
what they could dial in for
Yeah.
Season of Dawn, maybe.
Well,
I mean,
I
the
think
Obelisk, but
possibly.
I feel like the Season of Dawn was already done, right? Season of Dawn would have been completed before Undying went live, don't you think? I mean, I don't think 3 months is enough time to develop what they
I mean,
developed.
there
for
would
this
have to
season.
have been some fine tuning. Like if they were talking about like getting that voice line in. Well, a voice line is different than like an entire like tuning. I get it. I understand that. But like they had to use that as some sort of case study for whatever we were going to get next.
The recipe is there for Bungie. Give us an activity that's farmable over and over again with a loot pool that actually has desirable things, and the obelisks check those boxes the same way that the Forge did. Only gaining access to the obelisks is easier than unlocking the forges was.
Yeah.
And the weapon systems are much more, just way better than the weapons that were available in the Vex Offensive. First of all, there's only like 3 or 4, and they were all garbage. They're still all garbage, in my opinion. But a lot of these weapons coming from the obelisk have some perks we've never seen before, and they're proving to be very worthwhile. You know what I mean? This Vorpal perk I think people are sleeping on this Vorpal perk. I think it's a very good, unique perk. I think this lead from gold is a unique perk to the system.
Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Very unique. There's weapons like the Gallant Charge, Gallant, something like that in play. As a fusion rifle, it's very good. A lot of people are clamoring for the scout rifle and the linear fusion rifle. And I've got a lot of people in chat who swear by sidearms right now and that nobody's using them, but the sidearms that you earn for the obelisk are insanely powerful.
I got completely dusted like within that second week in Crucible from the obelisk sidearm. And I was like, the hell is that? I was it was wonderful. It gave me, I wanted to grind out that weapon. And I still need to do that. But
the grind for them is easy.
Yeah,
I mean,
super
there's
easy.
like 6 or
low
7
impact
different things. Low impact. Super low impact.
Easy on the knees.
And easier activities than going and running a Vex offensive, for example. You know what I mean? So I think these are. But the question to a Bungie, if I was going to sit down with Bungie and ask them questions, I would say, hey, was Season of Dawn done before or at the same time that Season of Undying launched?
Yeah.
And what tweaks did you make to it as you saw the progression? Because a clear path to gear is not new.
No.
Yeah.
We've seen it, but we had it in the Menagerie to a
Yep.
I don't even know,
fantastic degree.
Right?
Yeah.
So we've had it in the Forge. But this was the first time we had a clear path to gear that was like super easy to get it to farm.
Mm-hmm.
And to get the what is it, the fractal lines or whatever they're called?
Yeah.
They're relatively easy to come across because you earn them by just playing the game.
Yeah.
Outside of doing bounties to acquire them. So, I mean, Season of Dawn, and despite the fact that I'm not like actively pursuing the seal, I'll probably end up getting it anyway. But
yeah,
it feels pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's been. I think you guys are right. It's been a pretty fantastic, iteration of a content chase there. The sundial itself is a fun activity. They're changing it up, over the course of a few weeks with different bosses and whatnot. And the rewards are worth grinding. I was taking a look at my dim here. I actually went grinding for the fusion rifle, the linear fusion, Line of the Sand, and wound up getting myself a enhanced battery rapid hit firing line.
That's the one everybody wants. Yep, that's it.
That's the one, and it's that was worth my time. I had a lot of fun doing it. It didn't take forever, and there's even more that's in there because they did something really good here, in my opinion. They brought back the prophecy weapons from the original Curse of Osiris. Those are in the loot pool. It's an incentive to level up the obelisks that are on different planets and then either complete bounties. And this is something I love. I love that you can either complete bounties to get these things or go run the sundial once you've linked up an obelisk. Fantastic idea, because it's giving players the opportunity to go and play whatever they want, and it's giving them the rewards that they're looking for. That's everything we wanted. It's a system that they did really well with the Menagerie. I still believe the Menagerie has one of the best reward systems Bungie has ever done, and I would love to see them continue that. I remember saying back during the summer that if they kept the Menagerie around and then just continually cycled out the rewards that you could get from putting in runes, I would play that activity basically in perpetuity, because it's a great reward system. You can direct the kind of rewards that you want to go for. It gives you an actual carrot on the stick rather than the hope of a carrot on the stick, a hope that you're going to get the thing that you're looking for and that thing is going to be good. Fantastic job. So yeah, I think Season of Dawn is already leaps beyond the season of the Undying, which was really just one game mode that was extremely repetitive with rewards that weren't really worth your time.
Let me say this before you get too far. The line in the sand, is that what it's called?
Line in the sand, yeah.
So the part of the reason why this weapon is so important right now is, one, we never know what changes Bungie's going to make to the sandbox to change the way that we play. Specifically, this is going to relate to PvE. But this weapon has a chance to unseat Izanagi's Burden with the catalyst for damage. If you don't have it, if you don't have an Izanagi's Burden and you're looking for ways to help out in terms of massive DPS, this gun has a chance to do that. And the thought process moving into the next season is that maybe Izanagi's is going to see a little bit of a nerf because it's so strong.
It's so ubiquitous with doing DPS.
Right.
It is.
This would be something that you can earn and rapidly earn and maybe throw in the vault for what could be coming on the pipeline as the sandbox changes. I just wanted to make sure we address that before we get into our next
point. What are the perks that you look for on that again?
Rapid hit, firing line,
like
a battery that gives you more impact, and stability on the barrel. I don't know the name of the batteries off the top of my head. Not charge time masterwork.
Right.
Charge time masterwork reduces impact. So you want to look for something that is maybe reload speed, perhaps, or maybe even a stability. Depends. The linear fusion rifles don't really have a lot of kick to them.
Right.
But
and they've got a ton of aim assist. Like mine is polygonal rifling, which adds like +9 to stability, I want to say.
Okay.
Enhanced battery, then rapid hit, firing line with a reload masterwork, and that's
nice. Okay.
That's been pretty good to me, pretty darn good.
How do you feel the reload is without the masterwork?
Super fast because because rapid hit.
Okay.
Land a couple
for
shots.
DPS, you're probably talking about like stationary targets or minimal movement, especially if Divinity is procced. So with the way rapid hit works is the more shots you land, the more stability you get, and I think it even increases reload speed after you land those rapid shots pretty short.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So, yeah, rapid hit, you get that extra stability, because rapid hit increases stability and reload speed, right?
Right.
So it's like, there you go. You're good. It's definitely a fantastic role. And on the note of Izanagi's, probably going to get a nerf. We know how these things work. Whenever something becomes monolithic in the sandbox, it gets put into the target sites. So
right.
I haven't seen any top like speedrunners, any top PvE players outside of those like kind of clowning around using different loadouts than like things like Divinity and Izanagi's in terms of end game content. I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure people can be effective using. I saw somebody who was using the exotic hand cannon that's the sniper rifle and mountaintop. Of course,
Ariana's Vow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Ariana's Vow. Of course, it's going to be effective, but we're talking about the most efficient PvE players that we know who are out there to actually do these things rapidly.
Yeah.
You're typically seeing Izanagi's Burden being a part of that. And this linear fusion rifle has a chance to unseat that and give you a bit more flexibility in your loadout too.
Yeah, because it's just a legendary heavy weapon,
Right.
And funnily enough, a lot of the big DPS options are like primaries right now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of flexibility with your options there. It's good stuff. That's what I love. I love that this is something you can get from an activity that's currently in the game, or bounties that are currently in the game that you can repeat. Thank the Lord for repeating bounties on these sorts of things. This is good. It's something that's good enough to keep you engaged with the content that's currently available and content they may bring in the future. And that's definitely more of what we need when it comes to the world of Destiny 2.
It seems so easy, doesn't it?
In retrospect,
like doesn't the obelisk system and Season of Dawn like seem so easy? I wonder how long it took to conceptually get down and code and get out there, but like it really does feel like it was a piece of cake.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a reflection of the Bungie devs. Maybe that's them doing a great job.
Yeah.
Maybe it's from the community feedback, whether it be Reddit, whether it be the content creators or non-content creators that were sent out to talk about things. I'm not sure, but like this, it seems so easy. It seems so effective. I'm seeing more and more people talking to more and more people in chat who are actively pursuing different roles of different weapons, and more so than I think I've even seen during. Well, no, not more than the Season of Opulence because the amount of chests you could pull, but it's up there with it.
Yeah. It's definitely some good stuff here, and hopefully we see more of that in the future. I don't know what the next season is going to bring, but hopefully they don't deviate too much from the reward systems that are currently in the game right now. Or if they do, they improve upon the ones we've got right now.
How would you improve upon it?
The easy answer is always to add more stuff.
Yeah.
I think part of why Menagerie was so successful was because the loot pool was so massive to it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how many people were out there farming armor by the time it was done, outside of that sets for collections and whatnot.
Right.
But to have a place where you could go and look for Dustrock Blues, Waking Vigil,
Ariana's, her
you know what I mean? So that I think was crucial. But I feel like the loot pool is pretty generous for the obelisk, and it doesn't take a lot to see. I err on the side of caution saying that something's perfect.
Yeah.
But this feels really good.
Yeah.
To me personally. And I if anybody's out there and wants to disagree or interject or share your thoughts on it, please feel free on to maybe how Bungie could do a better job. I don't see. I mean, there's the bounties, and then there's doing the sundial to earn these. Like, there's so many different ways for you to get them. It actually is a play your way, kind of mentality to it.
Funny, huh?
That isn't endgame. That isn't endgame related anyway. I mean, not yet. We'll see how that changes when the heroic version of the sundial comes out. Which, do you have the roadmap, Dan, with the heroic version?
Yes,
of sundials
I do.
like
Heroic version
the pipeline.
Yeah, heroic Legend Sundial comes out on the 7th, the same day as the exotic quest for Devil's Ruin, which is the gun that looks like Hideo Kojima tripped over himself.
It's definitely straight out of Metal Gear Solid. 100%.
Yeah.
Do we know what the ability of that thing is? I'm pretty sure it's on light.gg.
Let me check. I can double check on that for you while you guys continue.
So we've got the 3 scions in the sundial, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a couple of hidden triumphs associated with Season of the Dawn. I'm trying to think of what's going to be between, because I mean, this week is Reset Day, is New Year's, right?
Yes.
New Year's Day.
Yes.
So it's like, what's going to change at the sundial? Are we going to see maybe? Okay, so here's it. So this week we get the final boss for the sundial, and the week after it becomes the heroic version. My question would be, what is what's the rotation so people can still face these? Is this going to be a weekly rotation of scions that we fight? Like, is it going to reset and go back to the void guy, go back to the arc, go back to solar, and then back to final boss? Would be my question. How's that going to, or are we going to be fighting all three? Maybe all three bosses are present in the final room.
That would be interesting. Take down all three. If I were to make a safe man's bet, I would say it's going to rotate. Like,
every 4 weeks is an odd rotation, especially when it's a season-based content, right? So do you think that the final boss Sundial gets its own match-made separate arena and the other
probably
three rotate?
That would
you're
make
talking about Triumph Score.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, to have the harder boss always be available, a la like a dungeon or something along those lines.
Or maybe it's even added in like an extra round.
Yeah.
Go through it, and then it just becomes a new round.
Oh, a tag on?
You beat the previous. Yeah, a tag on.
So like, you know, you would do your first run, you'd face the void sign, then you go back, and now you're facing the arc, and then you go back, and they're talking about a half-hour encounter at that point, depending.
Well, not so much that, just like going through your normal run, and then after you beat Inatam or whatever the scion is,
Ozlet,
you get a final boss round after that.
Okay.
All in one run. I could see them doing that.
Just like, surprise! I have arrived.
So Scion rotates, but end boss stays the same after you've beaten the final Scion. Okay,
yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. That would work.
So the Devil's Ruin is an energy sidearm. Its exotic perk is Close the Gap. Variable trigger. Press and release to fire individual shots. Hold to charge up a high-powered stagger laser. Strong against unstoppable champions. So it's another one that has like a dual fire mechanism.
Seems to be all the rage with symmetry and whatnot.
I'm down with it.
At it because I'm not gonna laugh at it because symmetry wound up being fantastic. So I can't make fun of this thing. I'm just gonna say I'm looking forward to it. And with
a little bit of speculation. Do we know what Empyrean Foundation is necessarily?
Not yet. There's some reference to some stuff with it that has been data mined, but nothing solid.
I hope it's a dungeon. I don't want to get people's hopes up, but I hope it's a dungeon.
You're playing a dangerous game at the end.
You think there'd be another dungeon this season? Because the dungeon from Shadowkeep is from Shadowkeep, not Undying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is true. Okay, never mind. It's probably not a dungeon. Move on. Everybody, nothing to see here. It's fine.
So they haven't exactly said what it is. I wonder if it's going to be something to do with Saint 14.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a bit of content, then I almost wonder if it's going to be. I almost don't know if I want to say. I wonder if it's going to be something akin to the 0 hour mission.
Yeah.
Why? I'm dopey. Tell me why.
Because we didn't get one in Shadowkeep, and there was something, as I recall, in the data mines that linked to like some sort of hidden mission in the way that 0 hour was and the Whisper of the Worm mission was. The only thing I have against that is the fact that it's on the roadmap. I don't know if they would put something like that on the roadmap. But,
dude, they put other things on the roadmap that have not necessarily needed to be on there.
So the Undying Mind.
Forever. Yeah. I will forever remember that as something that's just like, why would you put that on there if it's not different?
But like there's a hidden heavy exotic weapon that's redacted right now. There's some stuff in the wings waiting. And
so I was gonna say Penzalo's like, this is a total nerd moment. Hoping that we go back to Venus with that. So maybe there's a mission where we go back to the archives, which would be great. But in other nerd news, Venus was like super bright above the moon yesterday. Like real Venus, the planet Venus was like one of the brightest it's been like in the history. It was so, my wife was like, what is that? And I was
That's
like,
Venus,
well, that's
baby.
Venus, dude. So like,
It's a
yeah, it depends.
traveler.
I'd go there. I'd go there in real life, which by the way, as bright as it was, it looks like it's really far away, despite the
Yeah.
fact that it's apparently not in terms of cosmos, but it was really far away, but super bright. But
Yeah.
Venus would be cool. I don't know if there's enough space in the
Please.
game for it. I want
Yeah.
to go back to I want to go back to that
Please.
library. I want
He's-
to take out a book and read it.
Are you kidding me?
He says Empyrean Bellicose is a Titan exotic that mentions Venus.
Yeah. I want to go. I want to go back to Venus as such a cool planet. And like, we got the moon back.
Yeah.
What
knows?
planet should we forfeit in order to get Venus back?
Mars.
Which one's leaving?
Just fire
I
Mars. into
I
the sun.
sacrifice Mercury.
Oh yeah, Mercury.
Brother Vance, dude. Where are you putting Brother Vance?
Brother Vance.
Osiris is right
It
there.
was
with
good
the
to
sun.
know
Are you gonna
ya.
Erase him?
Brother Vance.
Brother Vance is getting shoved into a locker.
I
right
salute
now.
you, sir. I enjoyed the Kairos gold shader for a while.
I'll
I'm
tell
sorry.
you, I think, and I love Devram, but I think I'd
Yeah.
forfeit the EDZ.
You'd forfeit Earth?
I
think
think
it
I would
would.
forfeit Earth. And listen, I'd have to find somewhere. I'm not getting rid of Devram. He has to go somewhere. I'll make room for him in the tower. But I think if there was a planet I'm kind of sick of being on right now, I feel like it's the EDZ.
Yeah.
That might just be because it's so easy to go and get everything done there.
What? Oh.
I'm just bored with it.
Maybe Titan. I
We've
think
been on
Titan's
it since the
probably
beginning of
most
the
boring
game. You know what I
planet.
mean? Like,
I actually-
initially, I'm just bored with it.
I love Titan. Titan is like
Really?
Titan
Titan-
is my favorite place.
yeah,
man.
I will
Yeah, it's-
fight for Titan. I would
Have you-
fight for Titan.
I would fight for Titan too. Have you ever gone into the just on free roam and watch the security cameras follow you?
Yeah.
What?
So if you go into the what's it called? The strike for Savathun is you're going into
The
that
foundation
area.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, there's security cameras
Mm-hmm.
in the ceiling and on the walls, and they will watch you wherever you go. They'll be facing you.
That's creepy.
I just want.
I love the lore of Titan. The story of Titan is a very cool story to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm partial to Titan. I am 100% fighting for that. But yeah, check it out. To go next time you're around, watch the security cameras watch you because I want to know who's watching.
Who's watching? Because like we're not in the control rooms for those.
I want,
Who's
dude.
looking at me?
I want a hive raid on Titan in an aquarium. Give it to me.
You just want to ride that big
Goldfish boss. We had a goldfish boss.
underwater,
Yeah.
yeah.
Vex, yeah.
I want it. It's so cool. it's like I don't know. I just love that thing, man. It's so it would be a perfect setting for a raid. That would be so cool.
Yeah, it is. I guess there is a pretty cool atmosphere there, especially like I'm thinking of the Ace of Spades mission when you go
Mhm.
down there to the final area and like you can see into the water outside and you just see that
Mhm.
Leviathan swimming around.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff on Titan. Okay, I can concede that. I can concede.
Chat's
So,
saying IO, and
I was about to
they're
say,
onto
could we
something.
come
Yeah.
together and agree IO is a gross,
Yeah.
disgusting place that nobody
Yeah.
wants to go to? Bye, Asher.
Yeah.
So when
Sorry,
I'm on Mars,
fam.
I want to like sweep and like clean it up. Like if I'm on IO, I don't want to bother. I just want to let it go to shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's how I feel.
Gross
It's not,
place.
and Asher can go too. Honestly, he's
Yeah.
so crotchety. Like I'm sure his story is heartbreaking. See,
Well, I
you,
mean,
buddy.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Cabal again.
Yes, again. All right, Grandpa.
It's always Cabal.
It's either Cabal or your Vex arm. You're always talking about either. It's fine.
I feel like if I was on a fire team with him, like I would just like I would just run into hordes of enemies too, like just to get away from him.
Just push
Like,
him.
this is the
into
way I gotta go.
Vex
Is this how
mode.
it's gotta be? Him or I'm taking this.
Just push him into the Vex mode.
Yeah.
Just turn the rest of him into a robot. Yeah, you know what? Io is infested with Taken anyway. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Io's got a certain smell to it. We can sacrifice that planet for Venus. I think.
Yeah,
Venus
I'm
like
down.
static and licorice.
So it shall be written.
Yeah. So
Drop
so
the
it is
gavel,
written,
Bungie.
So shall it be done.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the Imprian thing, that'd be really cool if we went back to Venus there. Oh my,
Yeah.
and wasn't that where what was the name? The Ishtar Academy.
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
it. It was the
Yeah,
Ishtar
the Ishtar
Academy that was on
Collective.
Venus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The collective,
that library mission, man. Yeah.
See,
The archives, dude.
You get attacked
Gotta
by
stop
books.
The fallen from getting into the archive.
Knowledge is dangerous, man. Knowledge is power. But those are Vex books, man. You got to watch out for those things.
Vex books.
So like, that'd be really cool. I wonder if that's gonna be something that's, even if it's just a small mission reference like the Cosmodrome was with the Thunderlord, which I'm so glad they made that more available to people to go back to the Cosmodrome for that mission. But that leads me to think, let's assume we do get some sort of hidden mission in the vein of 0 Hour and the Whisper of the Worm. They've tied previous raid exotics to that. What do you think we would get in another mission like that? And where do you think it would take place? Do you think it would take place on Venus?
Well, they tied one previous raid exotic in the Outbreak Perfected, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whisper of the Worm didn't come from the raid, right? Didn't it come from a mission?
Well, Black
was that
Hammer.
the
Black
Black
Hammer
Hammer
came
raid,
from
right?
yeah.
Whisper was a hidden mission.
So what? You think Galahorn's coming back?
There
Mm,
is
Or what
an
raid
unknown-
exotic?
There's an unknown heavy exotic right now. That's in the database.
Dude, it's gonna be
Mythoclast?
super good advice, and the community's gonna burn like
Could
down
you
the village.
imagine the debate of a mission with an exotic heavy, and like you're
and it-
thinking it's Gjallarhorn, they reference Gjallarhorn throughout it, and then you get super good advice or Dragon's Breath.
Instead of bullets coming out, it just has
Yeah.
a flag that says "bang." It don't
Just
even
so-
shoot.
Like the old Looney Tunes thing. Just
Yeah, yeah, just a flag that comes out of it when you pull the trigger on it too.
we
just
get
to
an
rub it.
Acme super good advice.
Oh my god.
Guaranteed to malfunction every time you pull the
Yep.
trigger.
But this time it actually talks.
Oh, it just insults you.
It just goes, "What do you think I was going to do?
You should probably get up and stretch right now. Have you drank water today?
Have we met before? You knew me
Quite a
for
while.
3 years before this."
You just left me in a vault in a tower with Fallen.
Oh my god. This guy. Get me out of here.
Super good advice.
Yeah, that'll be the great debate of this season.
I mean, what are raid exotics that it could possibly be though? Like, let's try and think about it.
Mythoclast.
The Vex
I was gonna
Mythoclast,
say.
right?
If
Yeah.
we assume that
Venus?
it takes place, like that this mission took place on Venus, and these are huge assumptions. We have no information
Huge.
to back this up. Massive assumptions here. It couldn't be anything other than the Mythoclast. Like,
Yeah.
and whew, I would love that.
What was the exotic
As
from
a
Crota?
heavy?
There wasn't an exotic from Crota's raid, was there? It was specific to Crota's raid.
No, there was not an exotic for Crota.
The Necrochasm came to play somewhere in. Well, no. And then what was the Taken Kings? What was Oryx?
That was the
Yeah.
gun that hurt you.
Yeah.
Oh,
The,
yeah. It's not gonna be that.
Yeah, it's
Although
not
I
gonna be
guess
that.
you could technically say Necrochasm was Crota, even though
I
it was a quest. I think that was mostly outside of that.
Yeah,
Although,
but
well,
you still
did
had
need a
to.
Crux of Crota.
Yeah, you did need a Crux of Crota, which was tougher than shit to get for a period of time.
He
And
was
then-
not dropping them balls, man.
Oh my
He was
god!
absolutely
please.
not dropping them balls.
Touch
Please.
of malice.
Yeah.
Touch of
that's-
yeah, that was the Oryx weapon.
So then we
Which-
jump from the Taken King to what? Wrath of the Machine?
with-
Well,
Am I missing one?
That was Outbreak. No,
Outbreak.
you're right,
That
because
was
we had Taken King, and that was the only raid we got until Rise of Iron.
mm-hmm.
I want to say before they remixed all of the old raids. Which, good lord, it's about time they did that in Destiny 2.
That and it,
Ninja had a tweet about that, like a weekly rotation.
yeah.
Shout out to Ninja, weekly rotation
Which-
raid to drop
that's-
pinnacle rewards. Again, coding. Who knows what
Yeah.
that would?
That's
I
something
mean,
that's also been on Reddit for like months now too, though.
Yeah.
Like ever since they brought in the new Pinnacle system, that is something that they're like, well, maybe we're not able to get into Garden of Salvation every week, or maybe like rather than letting your other raids kind of go by the wayside, a weekly rotation would be neat on top of Garden of Salvation, giving you Pinnacle. Why not have another like a
I think that'd be fantastic. And like again, this is a complaint we haven't brought up for a while, but it's an old good one. It's something they did in Destiny 1 that was perfectly functional. Age of Triumph. Back in Destiny 1 was some of the best times for PvE. You had so many things you could do every single week. And I think now there's D2's been out long enough. There's certainly enough raids. I would love to see a raid rotation on a weekly basis. I'd love to go back into Eater of Worlds for some Pinnacle gear.
I
That'd be
love
great.
Eater of
I love
Worlds.
Eater of Worlds. It's
That's
such
one
a
of my
fun
favorites.
little raid lair. And you're darn right, I would skip Spire of Stars every time it's available. Because screw Spire of Stars.
The thing about Garden of Salvation as a Pinnacle reward drop is that it for most people that I've seen run it, is that it's kind of quick and dirty.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Spire of Stars, not so quick and dirty.
No.
Eater of Worlds is, and to some degree, you could even make a case that Leviathan might be. But the one that is not quick and dirty for sure is Last Wish. Last Wish isn't typically a quick and dirty raid.
Yeah, that
I'm not
takes
sure
some
that I'd
time.
have a lot of drive to do a Last Wish raid.
Yeah.
For year if Garden of Salvation wasn't available. Like if my only option was to run Last Wish, I'd probably be like, damn, you know.
Well, I guess the difference there is that didn't Last Wish have more drops than
It does.
Yes.
the rest of those raids?
I think it has 4.
Yeah, so then the benefit is an extra drop or 2.
Yeah. But you can kind of zone into any encounter, right? Like you have
with
the code.
Wish, yeah, with the wish
Basically
wall
with the
you can
wish.
do, yeah.
Yeah.
The wish wall is not quick, by the way. Like it's not a fast.
Oh no, yeah,
It
I'd take
takes a
some
while,
doing. What if they gave you like a little descramblizer that was just like boop, 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 boop,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
boop, and then it gave you the one.
Yeah,
The
just
one that you
scan
want.
my guardian's eye and take me where I want to go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it has to make that sound every time.
Yeah,
Every time.
It's like a little R2D2, just a little R2 unit sitting there screeching at you. By the way, I want to take a moment to address the chat. The Real 7, sorry, Nightbot lost its
Nightbot.
mind for a second. I know those weren't links. It's because they had periods in between the words there. You got bodied. But he was
Yeah.
talking about the redacted exotic that's in the database right now. And the word coding for it is the exact coding line that they use for other D1 stuff. So
Okay.
people are thinking it's probably going to be Dragon's Breath or Gjallarhorn. And I would be very surprised if it was Gjallarhorn.
If
I
it's
would be-
Dragon's Breath, I guarantee you it's broken, and the fact that it's broken is tied to frame rate. Guarantee you.
Oh, you're
It's
gonna make that
probably
call
broken
now?
on- yeah. If it's Dragon's Breath, yes, I will make that call now.
If you play at 200 FPS, the flames burn 60 times as strong. We're talking about one-shotting all raid bosses with Dragon's Breath. It'll finally have its
Oh my
time in the
goodness.
sun. Dragon's Breath was legitimately good, but
Yeah.
only if you were fighting something that refused to move, and like only if you mixed it with other things. Like what was the Taikanaut was the Titan helmet that gave rockets tracking, right?
Yeah. So
That
you're
it?
saying it's perfect for Callus.
Yeah.
Um
Oh, Callus would get wrecked.
The Spire boss who gets killed by like bows at this point would also
Yeah.
be multi-
Yeah, he would be gone.
Anything that sits still.
Yeah. Yep.
Dragon's Breath was a heaping helping of Christmas time DPS that unfortunately was overshadowed by other better rocket launchers like Gjallarhorn and even Truth,
Yeah.
because those things chase people forever.
Yeah, I wonder how Yellerhorn would do. Like which Yellerhorn they'd bring back if they were to bring back one of them. If they would bring back original Yellerhorn, which tracked you for days and its puppies were mad at you, or
They
if-
were mad.
yeah, they were mad.
You
Or
had
if they'd
some
bring
bologna
back-
in your pocket or something, because those things were after you.
Yeah, or if they'd bring back the Ace of Spade or the AC/DC version.
I think there's room for it to be insanely powerful.
Yeah,
I would want it to be back in an insanely-
Honestly, I don't see harm in it being obnoxiously strong. In truth, you're talking about an exotic. You're probably talking about if anything, if I was going to limit Gjallarhorn, I don't think I would limit the amount of damage it did. I think I'd limit the amount of ammunition you could carry,
yeah,
or force players to kind of have a build around it to have more reserves in play to keep more
Yeah.
rounds for it. I think that's what I would do, because we want to be powerful. We know what it's like to be neutered, especially in Destiny 2.
yeah.
So I think it's okay to give us crazy strong stuff for PvE. And who the hell? I mean, if you get killed by a rocket in PvP, it's whatever, you know. So
Yeah. Oh. What if okay, so this is crazy. This is crazy. I think I like it though. So you take a page out of what they're doing with these alternative firing weapons and kind of what they did with Dragon's Breath and D1 as well. where you hold down the trigger while the rocket hits or goes, and instead of when it explodes on impacts, the wolf rounds come out. What if you release and the wolf rounds then came out?
I have an even better thing.
Go for it.
What if the wolf pack rounds don't come out and surround something, but what if they go inside of it and
then
explode from the inside?
Yes.
What if the wolf pack rounds become piranha rounds and then explode on the inside when you uncharge it?
I want that gun.
And you just see things fucking burst into pieces of space dust.
We turning the Gjallarhorn into the cerebral boar from Turok.
I want it.
I'm in.
I want it now.
Yeah, there's things they could do with it. I would have a hard time believing they would ever bring it back close to its original form. That's what I would want. And to be perfectly honest, there is precedent for that. I'm the guy who said when they bring back Truth, it'll be nothing like its original form. It'll be like the nerfed year 2, year 3 version. And Bungie blew me out of the water on that one. I got completely BTFO'd on that. They brought back OG year 1, 3 rockets in the tube Truth, and I never would have guessed that they'd do that. So maybe, please, that'd be nice. I still think it's going to be a debate. I agree with the Aura conspiracy theory. I think it's gonna be they're gonna debate us with super good advice. But I'd love to see Gjallarhorn come back. If Gjallarhorn can come back, anything can come back.
I want to see a B-turd that's exotic. Give me an exotic B-turd.
Yeah, I'd love the BTRD. Hand it over. Best legendary rocket launcher in the game, easily, and or best legendary machine gun rather in the game.
I wasn't gonna correct you.
Yeah,
I have too much respect to correct you. I was gonna let it go.
I got you. Wait a second. BTRD, that's a machine gun. Oops.
We live by the sword, we die by the sword. That's it.
I will follow. Best machine gun. Easily the best machine gun. What was it, like a 45 round magazine?
Yeah, it was insane. That was a
huge
good
amounts
weapon.
Of range, huge stability. It was basically Hammerhead before Hammerhead was a thought in its daddy's head. Such a good machine gun. I miss that thing. I would take that too.
All right. Well, we've touched on a lot of things today.
Yeah.
And a few of the things that we haven't touched on are audience questions. Are you guys ready for those?
Yeah, I'm gonna touch one right now.
Oh.
Boop. Boop. We should. I need to come up with like a theme for this, so I can just hit it when it comes to question time. Legend CK asks, if Trials does return, do you guys see it being Trials of Osiris, Trials of the Nine, or something else?
I don't miss the missionary, whatever her name was.
Emissary?
Whatever. Yeah, I don't miss any of that. I don't miss that goofy ass horse, that weird jumping nonsense, and the vendor being in 8 different places. I don't miss that unicorn. At all.
Yeah.
You know what I do miss? I miss the lighthouse. Like the lighthouse. I want Trials of Osiris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might do something with the name because Bungie just can't let old school naming conventions live for some reason. They always have to make weird changes to the names. It might be like, something to do with Saint 14, but I think in essence it'll be Trials of Osiris, not the 9. I think we're probably done with the Emissary until Bungie. I get a feeling she'll return again when we're getting ready to transition into D3. So maybe like in season 11 when they
PvE, bring it on. Them talking to the Drifter in that storyline progressing. Cool. I don't give a flying about it being involved in Crucible.
There's going to be some sort of like heat death of the universe event where the Emissary shows up. There has that would just make the most sense to me. Like she's a big hitter, a heavy hitter nowadays.
Yeah.
So.
And now that we know there's some weird sort of fourth wall thing going on with her and the 9, who are apparently the planets because they're conscious now.
The Jovians? Oh yeah.
Yeah. It turns out they legitimately just meant the Jovians. It's the planets. The planets are alive, everybody. In case you didn't read the lore behind all of that. The 9 are the planets.
Yeah. I never know how to say this name, and I'm always apologetic. S. Barry? Sperry? Sherry? Sadari? I don't know. Will we ever see the D2 swords make a return?
The what?
Will we ever see? I'm guessing the D1 swords, the exotic swords, make a return. We know your stance on this.
Boltcaster.
You want it back. You want it back.
When you have it in the Black Talon, it kind of functions a little bit the same.
Yeah.
When you get hit with the Black Talon, you die right away. And when you got hit with the Boltcaster, there was that little ray of sunshine where you're like, I got this. I'm okay. Only to be blown up moments later. And that's the thing about it that I miss the most. That's why I want the Boltcaster back. I want to give people that little flash of hope.
Yeah. Maybe I can dodge that and then dead.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, they didn't get me.
That corner. Nope, you didn't. It got you. Whenever I think about Bolt, I've told this story so many times on the podcast, but whenever I think about Boltcaster, I just hear Princes of the Universe by Queen. It just starts playing in my head because I am the Highlander. There can be only one. Until I immediately get blown up with a rocket because this is D1, and what am I doing using a sword as my heavy
You're
weapon?
memeing, dude. You're memeing.
I'm memeing, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I feel like the World Line Zero kind of crosses off the check for what the Raise Lighter and what the Dark Drinker brought.
Yeah.
It is actually very powerful, just nobody uses it.
Yep. Because its catalyst takes forever to get.
It's the worst. I never thought there'd be a catalyst worse than Ariana's Vow, and somehow the World Line Zero manages to keep right up with it.
Oh, it's awful. That is an awful catalyst to the point where like there are still people out there who have no idea how to get it because it just says question mark.
Yeah, like which boss are you missing? I am 4 out of the 5, I think, or 5 out of the 6. I forget what it is, but I'm missing one, and the hell if I know which one it is.
Yeah, it's awful catalyst. Terrible. But yeah, I don't know if we'd ever see any of those swords again because a lot of their utility is made up in other swords now.
Yeah.
Makes me kind of sad. I like the idea. I think we talked about it the last time we had a show. I want them to introduce either a pinnacle sword or an exotic sword that allows you to choose between those 3 abilities.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Phoenix Uppercut, Spin to Win, or the Boltcaster Beam.
That'd be cool. Tri-sword?
Yeah, the legendary Tri-sword. I want it. That's what I want.
Oh my god. That'd be awesome. So Dr. Jones asks, does anyone else feel like the obelisk bounties are extremely familiar, as in they feel like the faction rally grind? It's not unheard of.
Basically.
Only they're way more rewarding.
Yeah.
Come on,
it's not
man.
a week.
The reward for doing the faction rallies wasn't the garbage behind Dead Orbit weapon that you were forced to get at the end because everybody wants to be with Dead Orbit. It was the new monarchy shaders that you earned along the way.
That's not true.
Completely true.
It was the Sunshot catalyst that you got from Future War Cult, baby.
Okay, yeah, all right, I can give you that. I legitimately in year 1 just did faction rally for new monarchy shaders. It was for my new monarchy diamonds and regalia. That's it. I
did it for the catalyst for Graviton Lance and for Sunshot, and then was like never again, and I was right.
Yeah, it turns out the entire game said never again.
Yeah, still to this day,
these NPCs still sitting here looking confused because they have nothing to do. Sad.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I took that away from you.
Yeah, specifically Dan.
But Coffee asks, which NPC do you think has the worst farts from all these cookies?
Oh man,
the bird. What's her name's
Lewis?
Louis?
Yeah. What's her name's Hawk? Yeah, that.
Yeah.
That's gotta be the worst.
Just occasionally stops gyrating and then goes.
Oh yeah, stops vibrating.
I didn't give Riven a cookie, so I can't. I don't know. I didn't go and do that.
Oh, her farts smell like wishes. It just smells like a wish. Every fart, wish.
That's the 15th.
That's it. That was the 15th wish.
Oh,
I bet you wish you didn't know now, did you? Oh my goodness.
We broke Dan.
It's over.
I'm a very simple man. I have very simple needs and humor.
Wish farts. Dragon wish farts. There you go. That's the
It's just-
takeaway.
That's how you find out what the 15th wish is just like in the fart is an image and you have to do it in the correct order in order freaking weird.
Hey, why else would they have us deliver cookies to Riven of all NPCs? All right.
Last, but certainly not least, we have a gauntlet from our friend Jebby. He asks in question 1, what do y'all think about the kinetic fusion rifle exotic Bastion that's still to come? I believe that comes like a week or 2 weeks. Like on the 28th of January is when it's listed on the calendar. What do we know about it?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I know nothing.
Okay, so I'm looking at it right now. Bastion, of course, the exotic kinetic fusion rifle, comes with the ability Saint's Fist, charged to fire 3 spreads of kinetic slugs. So it fires big slug rounds. And its special trait is Breakthrough. A portion of this weapon's damage bypasses elemental shields. So it's kind of like Arbalest.
Yeah.
In that it's a shield bypasser, but it fires 3 kinetic slugs.
Okay.
It sounds
like
interesting.
Lord of Wolves style?
Maybe. I'd imagine it's like fusions fire what, 4 bolts? Is it 4 bolts that
7
fusions fire? 7? Okay. It's just 3. So I'd imagine this has got to be pretty heavy impact to only be firing 3 specific bursts. What I wonder is, with that damage bypassing elemental shields, I wonder if that applies to players.
We don't have elemental shields.
Yeah, that's true. So,
yeah.
That's kind of weird. That's a little bit of a.
I like anything that bypasses shields makes match games super fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you can see something like that working for, and again, you've got this line in the sand linear fusion rifle that could do heavy amounts of damage. So now, got a fusion rifle that doesn't need to worry about match game. You got your primary weapon, and you got a linear fusion rifle for boss damage. This could be
interesting.
Another meta we see. I dig it.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, if Bungie had us pay a monthly subscription to have 2 big drops a year, then these 4 seasons we have now, how much would you pay for a subscription like that? Rather, I'm guessing if they had us pay a monthly subscription for 2 big drops instead of the 4 seasons that we get now, how much would you pay for a subscription like that?
Well, standard for games that are subscription based is like $14.99. I'll throw a caveat into that. If that was ever going to be the approach that Bungie took, and we've talked about that option on this show, they would need to have a lot
of content,
a lot more content than what we currently get. So it would have to be like, I always compare it to something like Final Fantasy 14, because that's one of the big MMOs going on right now that I actually pay a monthly subscription to enjoy. And Final Fantasy 14 does a major expansion release like once every 2 to 3 years. And then throughout that year, like every other month or so, they have content releases. So it's like every 2 months, they have a major patch that introduces new story quests, new dungeons, new raids, all kinds of stuff. And underneath that, hundreds of other changes and sometimes new classes, new DPS, new tanks, new crafting stuff, to justify paying a monthly fee. And if Bungie were to ever move into that sort of system, it would have to be significantly more content than what they put out right now with their patches. I don't know if they'd be able to keep up with that sort of thing. It's just not that type of game.
No, and Final Fantasy has a lot of resources to pull from. I mean, we were talking about a little bit on stream where like they've got all of the other series that they can pull from. Like I think Kefka is one of the raid bosses or something has made an appearance in the game and stuff. So they can reach into past versions of the game and bring stuff and implement it. Not that Bungie can't, but Final Fantasy is a series that's been going on since the NES.
Yeah.
Right. So you're talking 20 years, maybe
Yeah.
off the top of my head, maybe more
More.
of content
30.
that is available for them to pull and create from. Whereas while Destiny's been around for a while, it is not anywhere close to what the Final Fantasy franchise has
Right.
been.
And it like he further clarifies in chat. He's like, get something like Forsaken big. I remember the first year of Destiny drops, and I don't know if necessarily like House of Wolves and Crota together were probably. Would you guys say comparatively that they were Forsaken big, tied together with what they brought content wise, and we
Not
still had
Forsaken
lulls?
big, but like
Almost for
Taken King big,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're about Taken King sized.
Yeah,
maybe Rise of Iron size kind of thing.
but we still had those lulls in between all those expansions, and I think that they're right now the model that they have, where you're basically spending what, like $40 a year if you buy a la carte, or like as little as $10 if you don't want to buy another season.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best way for them to go right now. I don't see them doing a monthly model, especially after going free to play.
Yeah.
I
I don't think they have the workforce for it.
no, definitely not.
There's too many other. I feel like, because is it Final Fantasy? Does it have a PvP aspect? Are there two different
Yes.
sandboxes to balance?
It's more so like in PvP. It does have PvP. That PvP is normalized. So like when you go into it, you have a curated set of abilities based on the class that you're playing.
Right.
There's no real
So-
there's no real customization there.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they have the workforce and the resources necessary to put together a game that would justify a monthly subscription service. At least
Yeah.
not right now. That'd have to be a lot of sundial activities that they're tweaking constantly and putting into the game, and like it's new story quests every other month, and you brought up year one of Destiny 1, and I think that was a good thing to bring up, because we know that the content release schedule of fitting in something like the size of Curse of Osiris, or not Curse of Osiris, but The Dark Below and House of Wolves before the Taken King came out almost destroyed them. They've gone on record to talk about how much stress that put them through, and that's why they changed things up after the Taken King, and we got Rise of Iron a year or so later with no other content releases, because they couldn't put out content that quickly to justify it. It was too much for them to try to work on. So I don't think they would ever move to that sort of system, at least not as things are right now. maybe if they completely change the way things are in D3, they could move on to a system like that, but certainly not right now.
Last question out of his pack. Question: do you think giving raids an ornament set for weapons and armor would make them be more badass? Like, I'm sorry, I'm having to kind of shape around it, but like, what would you guys think if they were to introduce ornaments for like specific challenges in the raid?
I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I think it would bring back moments like wearing Glowhoo in the tower after beating Crota.
Yeah. Does that become
Shatterwhite on?
Does that become the shader qualification?
You mean the emblem? The emblem kind of thing? I mean, I just remember like flying into the tower after, and we talked about this today on stream, oddly enough, like flying into the tower after beating Crota and being like the only fire team in the tower with that shader on, and getting messages from other players in the tower being like, dude, yo, that's amazing, congratulations.
Nice.
We weren't like the top like 100, but we were among one
Right.
of the first teams in the game to get it done. So that moment is kind of gone now.
Mm-hmm.
At least on PC, it's not available. Most of the people we see get these things, we see them on Twitter, we say congratulations there. But I feel like that those moments within the game themselves are lost, and anything that you can do to kind of like prove that you've done this outside of the title. Like I got enlightened yesterday, right? Did the flawless Garden of Salvation raid.
Nice, congratulations.
Thank you. So now I have the title. I've done all the raid challenges, but there's nothing like unique other than wearing that title, which I can only wear one of them.
Yes.
Whereas if I have ornaments, I can pick an ornament from each raid.
Yeah.
And have a different ornament on all of my armor sets and show that I've done them all. I've done all of these things. So
Yeah.
Right.
I do like that. And I think that would make it more badass. And I think that would even promote more camaraderie and support within the community itself.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think, and it creates incentive to go back and do some of that content if you've already got that gear. Go back and earn those ornaments. And,
especially since there was such a dust up over the raid gear this time around.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the reuse side.
Yeah,
I like it. I like the armor. I know it was somewhere else already, but I like it.
Yeah. I think the Garden of Salvation armor set looks great. I think it looks fantastic. But I'll never argue against giving people, an extra incentive to go back in and run content.
Yeah,
I'll never argue against that.
Solid move. All right.
Yep, good stuff. Well, all right. That's the last question.
Yes, that is the last question for today. Thank you all for your questions. We appreciate
good
you.
Stuff this time around. Great conversation.
Thank you, chat.
But there we go. That is it for episode 222 of the Planet Destiny podcast. The final episode of the year and the final episode of the decade. Wow. 2019 is coming to a close and 2020 is going to be hot on its heels. Next time you see us, it's going to be a whole new year and hopefully a whole new year full of brand new experiences for us to enjoy here in the world of Destiny 2. Good stuff there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. It has been a fantastic time. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show as a whole, for making this a very fun show to host for you all. It's always such a great time to put on this content, to interact with you guys, whether it's on live streams or in video comments or on Twitter or all those other places. You guys really make this worthwhile. There's no way I would be saddling up for a weekly talk show on Sunday if it wasn't fun. You guys definitely make it fun. And I want to take a moment to thank the host here too. Aura, Dan, of course, Nim, who's probably off getting ready for work or something right now, and all the other hosts that we've had across this show over the past 5 or so years. Thank you guys for joining us with this and making this an interesting way to spend some time. It's good to have you here, brothers.
Yeah.
Good to be here. Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I love it. Bring it on every week. This is no place I'd rather be. But all right, everybody, that is going to be it for this one. Thank you all so much for listening, for watching. Before we get on out of here, we are going to let you know where you can find us all across the internet, both for the rest of this year and in the coming year, starting with you, Mr. No Longer Evil Aura, the artist formerly known as Evil Aura. How you doing?
You guys can catch me at twitch.tv/Aura or on Twitter, twitter.com/EvilAura, 3VIL_AURA.
Right on. Go watch Fusion Rifle Aaron Till kills until they nerf it because you know it's coming.
30,000 kills before the end of the year. I'm at 29,500. So
you can do it.
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
Are you gonna do it in Iron Banner?
No. Nope.
You need a sub goal.
Not.
You need a sub goal where you change your Steam name to a rental.
That's gonna be one of our channel points. For a number of channel points you turn in, I'll change my Steam name to something.
That's wonderful.
Oh no.
I love
it.
That's a good show. I like that show.
There you go. Go follow this man. Watch those streams. Watch him hit that 30K before the end of the year.
30K.
Because people get mad about Aaron Till for some reason. Whatever. Dan, what about you, man?
Hi, guys. My name is Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Danfinity, but the I's are L's. You can find me on Twitch 4 days a week, twitch.tv/Danfinity. This week, I don't know. I think we're going to play. This week's so weird, especially with the first on a Tuesday. I don't know how I feel about it. But I think we're gonna play a little bit of Destiny. We're gonna play a little bit of Borderlands. I'm hoping to get some Control in there too, because that game looks, just everything about that game looks awesome. But yeah, that's where you can find me, and yeah, I'll have an announcement on Thursday, on the channel. So
right on. Make sure you go hit that man up. Borderlands. I need to get back into that. I haven't played any of the content since release.
So I played through. I've been taking my characters through the new DLC where it's Handsome Jack's the heist on the Handsome Jackpot is really awesome. It puts into comparison how bad a villains the twins are and how good a villain Handsome Jack was. It is so good.
He's here to save your game.
Yeah. It's very interesting, and the way they tie it in with like pre-sequel is interesting too. It's neat. It's not what I was expecting.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I haven't played since I beat it. Went through the mayhem modes. That certainly sounds like it's up my alley. Right on. But of course, my name is The Black Link. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at The Black Link. We have not had much time to hold streams over the past couple of weeks because the Christmas season is the busiest season at my job. And good Lord, does it leave no free time for anything. But now that's over, the new year is rolling on in. We've got some more free time coming on up. So I'm looking to get back into doing daily live streams once again. Probably going to be playing a lot of Monster Hunter World. Iceborne's getting ready to drop on PC for that. And I am looking forward to going through that whole grind once again. What a great expansion Iceborne is.
How's that been?
Fantastic. Iceborne is super good. And like the new in-game dragon they just dropped is a pretty fun raiding experience, and I cannot wait for it to drop on PC so I can dive on into that as well. But that is it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy New Year to one and all, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, everybody.